I always believed silence could keep the peace. I always believed staying quiet could protect the people I loved. But that night, the night everything fell apart, I learned the hard truth. Silence doesn't protect you. It protects the person who is hurting you. I remember standing in front of my apartment window, watching the rain slide down the glass like it was crying for me. I wasn't crying yet, not because I wasn't hurt, but because my body was too shocked to even understand what had just happened. It's strange, isn't it? You can spend years trusting someone, years holding their hand, years defending them, and it only takes one moment, one hidden truth, to destroy everything. My name is Lena, and this is the story of how the person I trusted the most, my closest friend, almost a sister, tried to bury me under her lies, and how she counted on my silence to save her. I didn't plan revenge. Not at first. I didn't even think I had the strength for it. But life has a way of breaking you down until you have only two choices: stay silent and suffer, or stand up and let the truth speak louder than your fear. And trust me, the truth I uncovered didn't just speak. It roared. If someone had told me a year earlier that Mia would be the person to nearly destroy my life, I would have laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a genuine one. Because she wasn't just my friend. She was family. The kind of person you trust with your secrets, your fears, your dreams. The kind of person who shows up at 2 a.m. with ice cream when your heart shatters. We met in college. Two broke girls trying to survive sleepless nights and cheap coffee that tasted like burnt rubber. Mia was bold, wild, and magnetic. I was quieter, observant, careful. Opposites, yes. But sometimes opposites stick the strongest. For years, we were inseparable. Movie nights with dollar store popcorn. Heart-to-heart talks at 3 a.m. She saw me at my worst and celebrated my successes like they were her own. So when she suggested we work together, it felt like the natural next step. "You'll love it," she said, her eyes sparkling with certainty. "We'll run the place someday." Why wouldn't I believe her? This was Mia, my sister in every way but blood. The department was small and fast-paced. Mia trained me, introduced me to everyone with this warm, proud smile. That's how I met Evan. He wasn't the love of my life, but he was the kind of guy who made you feel seen. We clicked fast. Too fast, maybe. And Mia would look at us with this teasing smile and say, "My two favorite people." I thought she meant it. I never imagined she was smiling while planting seeds against me. The first sign came 3 months after I joined. I walked into the break room and found Mia whispering in the corner. When I called her name, she jolted like she'd been caught. "Just gossip," she said. "You don't want to know." I believed her. I let it go. I shouldn't have. Then came the subtle shifts. Coworkers began looking at me differently. Not with hatred, but with caution. Someone asked if I was doing okay in that tone people use for fragile things. Again, I ignored it. Because Mia said everything was fine. Because I trusted her more than I trusted myself. The pressure built slowly. My workload doubled. Tasks I'd never been assigned suddenly landed in my inbox. Projects I completed were credited to my supervisor. And Evan started pulling away. Not dramatically, but quietly, like someone had whispered doubts about me in his ear. It all built up until the night of the quarterly review. I stayed late, hoping to finish a report. The building was quiet. Then I heard voices. Familiar ones. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but then I heard my name. Not whispered, but repeated, firmly, clearly. I stepped closer quietly. That's when I heard Mia's voice. Calm, confident, convincing. "She's slipping," she told our manager. "Lena's not reliable. I cover for her all the time." My heart stopped. Cover for me?
What was she talking about?
"She gets overwhelmed easily," she continued. "And I try my best to help, but it's getting worse." Evan even noticed it. My breath caught. Evan? Then the final blow. I just don't want her to get fired. I really care about her. That's why I'm telling you. She didn't just twist the truth. She erased it, rewrote it, replaced it with something that made her the hero and me the liability. I stood there frozen, numb, As the girl I trusted like a sister sliced my reputation with words so smooth they sounded like concern. She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew I wouldn't speak up. She was counting on my silence. The morning after didn't feel real. Nothing around me had changed, but inside, something had cracked. And once a crack forms, it doesn't stay small. It spreads. At work, Mia smiled brightly like nothing had happened. "Morning, babe," she chirped. Her voice felt sharper than broken glass. Evan gave me a polite smile. Too polite, too thin. Mia leaned toward me, whispering, "He's just stressed. Don't overthink it." That word. Overthinking. The exact weakness she had told our manager I suffered from. By noon, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed answers. I pulled aside Jenna, a coworker who had always been decent to me. "Have you heard anything about me?" She hesitated. That hesitation punched a hole right through my chest. "Lena," she said gently, "people talk. Mia mentioned that you've been overwhelmed lately, that you've been missing tasks, that she's been helping you out." My mouth went dry. Missing tasks? Needing her help? She was crafting an entire alternate reality. All afternoon, people treated me like delicate glass. Soft voices, pitying smiles, extra offers of help I didn't need. Mia wasn't just spreading rumors. She was setting a foundation, preparing everyone to doubt me before the real blow landed. That evening, I tried to talk to her. "Mia, can we talk?" She turned with that sweet, sugary smile. "What's going on?" I asked. "People are acting weird. And yesterday, I heard you. In the conference room. You said I'm slipping." She blinked once. Then her expression softened. "Oh my God, Lena, that wasn't what it sounded like. I was defending you." "Defending me?" "Mia, you told them I was unreliable." "I was trying to make them understand," she insisted. "You've been stressed. I've been helping you." "Helping me? In what fantasy world?" "Mia, I'm not stressed. And you haven't been covering anything for me." For half a second, her eyes hardened. Cold, flat, calculating. Then it was gone, replaced by pity. "Lena, sweetheart," she said softly. "You don't see it, but everyone else does." This wasn't confusion. This was deliberate. She was rewriting reality in real time, gaslighting me so smoothly she almost made me doubt myself. I finally understood. She didn't want me confused. She wanted me discredited. Then Evan walked in. He looked at us, hesitated, then went straight to her. "Ready to go?" he asked quietly. "Ready to go. Together." Something inside me cracked again, sharper this time. Mia smirked.
Barely.
A tiny, triumphant curl of her lips before she turned away. It was subtle, but it was meant for me. Her message was clear. She wasn't just taking my reputation. She was taking him too.
Piece by piece.
That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. And for the first time, something shifted inside me. Not anger, not revenge, but awareness. Mia wasn't going to stop. She was building something big, something that needed me out of the way. She was counting on my silence. But silence only works when the truth is still hiding. There's a moment in every betrayal story when everything snaps together so suddenly that your heart can't keep up. For me, that moment came on a Friday evening. The kind of Friday when everyone bolts out of the building. I stayed late because my supervisor insisted he never received a report, the same report I had emailed him twice. I was printing the final pages when I heard footsteps.
Mia.
Then a second set. Evan. I slipped behind the copy room door, hidden, barely breathing. "Are you sure she's not here?" Evan whispered. "She left," Mia answered too confidently. "She's been leaving early all week." My mouth fell open. Leaving early? I'd been the last one out every night. "Evan," she said with that gentle reprimand, "trust me. I know her better than anyone. I don't know, this feels wrong." A small, practiced sigh. Wrong? What's wrong about it? If Lena wanted you, she had months to make a move. I felt the breath punch out of me. So that was it. She'd been framing me as someone too weak, too slow, too late. "She does care about me," Evan said quietly. I know, Mia replied. And she'll be fine. She always bounces back. Besides you and I, we're just a better match. You said it yourself. He didn't deny it. Then her voice shifted. Lower, warmer, seductive. Evan, don't overthink it. You know what you want. A moment of silence that split my life cleanly in two. I didn't need to see a kiss. The stillness between their breaths said enough. Every lie, every whisper, every sudden shift at work crashed into place. She didn't just want his attention.
She wanted him.
And she wanted me gone. Mia, Evan said after a moment, you told me she's unstable. I don't want to hurt her. Unstable. She had really said that. Baby, she'll understand. She always does. She puts everyone before herself. My silence, my kindness, my loyalty, all the things I thought made me a good friend, she had turned into her tools. Let me handle it. She listens to me. She trusts me more than anyone.
Of course I did.
Of course I trusted her. Then he sighed, the sigh of someone giving in. Okay, he whispered. I trust you. That was the moment something inside me disintegrated. I waited for them to leave before I moved. My hands trembled so hard, I had to fold them in my lap. How many lies had she told? How many people already believed them? My phone buzzed. A message from Mia. Hey babe, two hearts wanna grab dinner? Girl time? I miss you. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because the mask she wore was suddenly terrifying.
Girl time.
She wanted to keep me close. She wanted control. For once, I didn't respond. I turned off my phone and slipped out of the office. By the time I reached the parking lot, the air felt different. Heavy but steady. And then something shifted. Not anger, not revenge, but clarity. Clear, sharp, dangerous clarity. If Mia wanted a version of me who stayed silent while she tore apart my life, she'd underestimated me. Because betrayal doesn't just break you. It wakes you up. Most people think revenge starts with anger. But they're wrong. My revenge began with clarity. A cold, steady understanding that Mia wasn't going to stop unless I made her. I stopped talking. Real silence, with purpose. I stopped confiding in her, stopped feeding her the small details about my life that she twisted into weaknesses. At first, she didn't notice. Then she tried to pull me back in. Lena, are you okay? You've been so distant. Just focused on work, I said calmly. She studied my face. She could sense something, but she didn't know what. A liar panics when they lose control of a narrative. I began gathering proof like I was building a legal case. Every email, every deleted message, every task she claimed I missed that I actually completed. I didn't need to exaggerate anything. Her lies were bold enough on their own. I fixed my reputation quietly. Mia wanted people to think I was unstable, so I became the calmest person in the room. Professional, efficient, quietly reliable. Actions are louder than rumors. And Mia hated that. When he finished, he looked ashamed. I don't know why I believed her. She made it sound like she was saving you. Saving me from what? I asked softly. He didn't answer.
He didn't have to.
At that moment, everything clicked. Mia wasn't trying to hurt me because she loved him. She was trying to hurt me because she loved how I loved him. My feelings were a threat to her ego. She wanted to win. I let her think she still owned the narrative. She texted constantly. Are we okay? Did I do something wrong? Can we hang out tonight? I replied politely, short but not cold. Just enough so she couldn't accuse me of anything. The distance made her anxious. The uncertainty made her sloppy. Then she made her big mistake. The head of our department called a meeting. Someone's been tampering with internal documents. Email deletions, missing reports. Mia stiffened. The IT team had traced the issues back to one user. Mia raised her hand too fast. Is Lena in trouble? She's been under pressure lately. The IT lead cut her off.
No.
It wasn't Lena's account. The room went silent. All eyes turned to Mia. Her face drained of color. She had counted on me being too quiet to defend myself. Too emotional to gather proof. Too fragile to see the storm forming behind her. After the meeting, I went to HR with everything I'd collected. Emails, deleted messages, false reports, screenshots, a timeline of every lie. The HR rep stared at the pile. "Lena, this is serious." "I know," I said calmly. And I didn't want to believe it. But she's been undermining me for months. I left HR with a quiet, steady breath. The final act was coming. She counted on my silence. She built her plan on it. But she forgot one thing. People like me don't stay quiet forever. We just wait until the truth is loud enough to speak for itself. I wish I could tell you that everything made sense at this moment, but nothing did. Not my thoughts, not my patience, not my heart. Because this was the moment where everything inside me snapped. I remember sitting in my car outside the old library, rain falling like it was trying to whisper something. She thought I'd forgive her. She actually believed that after everything, I would smile and pretend we were still sisters. But forgiveness is a gift, not a duty. And she didn't deserve it. Not after the way she toyed with my trust, dragged my name through her mess, used my kindness like a safety net. When I reached my driveway, I didn't get out immediately. I stared at my reflection in the rear-view mirror. My eyes looked tired from carrying too much. I whispered to myself, "It's time." Not revenge, not anger, but truth. I walked inside and pulled out everything I kept buried. Screenshots, messages, records, her promises, her lies, the proof she thought I'd never find. I spread everything across my table. Looking at it all together, I could finally see the full picture. Clear, undeniable, complete. She didn't just betray me. She built a story where I was the villain and she was the victim. But stories collapse when the truth walks in. And I was done staying silent. There's a strange calmness that comes after you stop trying to fix someone who enjoys breaking you. I wasn't fighting her anymore. I was exposing her. And for the first time, I wasn't scared of what she would do. She thought she owned my silence. She thought she had me figured out. But she forgot something. Silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's strategy. People think revenge starts with fury, with shouting, breaking things. But real revenge starts with stillness. A quiet decision. A calm breath. A moment where you simply say, "Enough." I stood in my kitchen at 2:17 a.m., barefoot, staring at a table full of proof. Proof of everything she did behind my back. But I wasn't trembling anymore. I wasn't afraid. I felt focused. I built a timeline, connected the dots she tried to scatter. By sunrise, I felt something powerful, clarity. I secured my proof on multiple drives, in locked folders. I told only 3 people, the right people, not everyone. I needed calm, rational listeners. I went to work like nothing happened. I smiled when I needed to, kept conversations short. And that confused her. Her messages became more frequent, more defensive. "Are you still mad? Don't be dramatic. We're fine, right?" Not once did she apologize. Her ego was so inflated, she actually believed she was untouchable. But my silence made her nervous. I could see it in her eyes. The mask was cracking. I prepared the confrontation not with emotion, but with facts. I wasn't going to argue or shout. I was going to show her the truth. Clean, simple, undeniable. I scheduled a meeting. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet, formal conversation. When I sent her the message, she replied within seconds. "Is this necessary?" Yes. It was overdue. The night before, I slept better than I had in months. No anxiety, no nightmares. Because I wasn't fighting for revenge anymore. I was fighting for my name, my voice, my truth. The air felt heavier the morning of the confrontation. I arrived early to breathe, to stand in that empty space before the storm began. One by one, the people I invited arrived. Then she walked in. Sophia. Looking irritated, confident, slightly smug, but with tightness around her eyes that proved she was scared. She took the seat across from me, folded her arms, and smiled like she was doing me a favor. "So," she said, "you called this. What's going on?" Her voice was sugar-coated, trained, practiced. I opened the folder in front of me. Her eyes flickered. She knew exactly what was inside. "I'm not here to argue with you," I said calmly. "No shouting, no back and forth. I just want clarity." She forced a light laugh. "Clarity? Seriously? You dragged everyone here because you want clarity." I continued anyway. "I want the truth on the table. Your truth, my truth, the real truth." I slid the first page across the table. A printout of her message, her exact words, her admission. She went pale. "What is this?" she whispered. I didn't answer. I placed a second page, then a third, then a fourth. Screenshots, timestamps, statements, contradictions. Every lie laid out in perfect order. She stared at the papers like they were burning her skin. "You misunderstood." "No," I said softly. "No misunderstanding. Let me show you." I played the first voice note. Her voice filled the room, sharp, dismissive, confident, talking about me like I was disposable. The room fell silent. Never had I seen her look so small. "I didn't mean it like that," she stammered. I kept my eyes on her. "Then how did you mean it, Sophia?" My voice wasn't shaky or angry. It was quiet, controlled. She blinked rapidly, her confidence slipping. "Everyone twists things, you're taking it out of context." I slid the next file forward. "This is your writing, Sophia. Your plan, your words, your actions, your lies." Her lips parted, but nothing came out. The others watched her, silent realization sinking in. Then came the moment she couldn't hide from. The message where she bragged about turning people against me, about how easy it was to redirect the blame. The room gasped. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." And that was when Sophia broke. Her voice cracked. I was stressed. I didn't mean it wasn't supposed to go this far. But intentions don't erase consequences. "Sophia, you didn't just hurt me. You destroyed trust. You used people. You turned them against me for no reason. And you did it all knowing I would stay silent." She dropped her gaze, eyes filled with real fear. Because she finally understood this wasn't about revenge. This was about truth, and she couldn't outrun it. I'll explain everything. I'll fix it. Just don't make this worse." I shook my head slowly. "I'm not making anything worse. I'm just stopping the lies." I looked at the others. All I want is for the truth to stand on its own. And for the first time in months, they believed me. Not because I convinced them, but because the evidence was undeniable. Sophia's mask shattered. She stood up, desperation replacing arrogance. "You're doing this to hurt me," she snapped. I rose too, my voice calm.
No.
"I'm doing this to stop you." I gathered my folder, closed it gently, and stepped back. "I'm done letting you control the story. My silence isn't yours to use anymore." Her eyes glistened with panic. Because she finally realized the web she built was collapsing, and I wasn't trapped in it.
She was.
I walked out without looking back. Not out of pride or victory, but out of peace. Because I didn't need revenge. I only needed one thing, for the truth to breathe again. The day after, the world felt lighter. Sophia didn't show up for work. Her absence was loud enough. The office hummed with whispers, but this time, they were about her. About the lies, the manipulation, the truth finally catching up. People looked at me differently. Respect, recognition, relief. I didn't gloat. The truth had done the work for me. Her emails became frantic, her calls unanswered. The HR team reviewed everything. By the end of the week, Sophia was on probation. Her reputation was damaged beyond repair. And me? I finally breathed. For months, I had been walking on eggshells. Now I could walk straight, speak freely, laugh genuinely. I started reclaiming everything she tried to take. My friendships, my confidence, my work reputation. Evan stopped by my desk one evening. "I'm glad you didn't let her define you," he said quietly. I smiled, knowing he wasn't the goal, but it was proof that truth always finds allies. Sophia tried to rebuild, but she underestimated one crucial fact. People notice patterns. They see who constantly lies. They remember how it feels to be betrayed. A few weeks later, the office felt lighter. People worked together, without tension. Jokes returned to the hallways. And I finally felt free. Sitting at my desk, I realized something important. Betrayal teaches lessons no one else can. It reveals strength you didn't know you had. Sophia's downfall wasn't my joy.
It was my freedom.
I didn't celebrate her mistakes. I simply let the truth breathe, and I let myself breathe along with it. One evening, I whispered to myself, she thought I'd forgive her. She thought silence would protect her. But the truth arrived before mercy. And in that moment, I realized something crucial. Freedom isn't about retaliation or revenge. Freedom is about reclaiming yourself. The storm had passed. The lies had fallen. And I was finally completely free. More than that, I felt alive. The constant anxiety that had followed me for months was gone. I laughed softly at my reflection, watching sunlight fall across my desk, warming the papers that had once been weapons in her hands. Now they were symbols of my patience, my vigilance, my resilience. I realized the power I gained wasn't just professional. It was personal. It was knowing I could survive betrayal. It was knowing I would never again allow someone else to write my story. As days turned into weeks, the office moved forward. People healed. Relationships mended. Sophia eventually returned, but her attempts at charm were met with polite distance. The damage she had done was no longer something I carried. It was hers to bear. I learned something profound. Betrayal isn't just about loss or hurt. It's about reclamation. It's about looking at someone who tried to define you through deceit and refusing to allow them that power. Freedom is the most potent revenge of all. I didn't need to shout, fight, or destroy. I simply needed to wait, prepare, and let the truth do its work. And now, months later, sitting at my desk, sipping coffee, watching the office buzz with genuine laughter, I understand fully. The storm has passed, the lies have fallen, and I'm not just free. I'm unstoppable. Betrayal has a strange way of arriving. It doesn't always come as a loud scream. Sometimes it slips in quietly, smiles beside you, calls itself a friend. And revenge doesn't always need to roar. Sometimes the quietest revenge is simply letting the truth speak. I learned that the hard way. Not through textbooks, but through pain, silence, observation, and patience. When Sophia betrayed me, I felt every sharp edge of her lies. For a while, I carried that weight like a shadow. But with time, I realized my suffering wasn't meaningless. It was a teacher sharpening me, showing me exactly what I could endure. And it taught me something invaluable. You don't have to respond in anger. You only need to be patient, prepare yourself, and let the truth shine. Some people will cross every line if it benefits them. They will try to define who you are. And for a moment, you may believe them. You may doubt yourself. You may feel powerless. But the reality is simpler. No one can control you unless you let them. No one can destroy your reputation unless you allow it. I didn't fight with anger. I quietly reclaimed my life. I gathered proof, rebuilt trust, prepared every detail. And when the truth finally spoke, the world shifted. People saw her lies. They saw my patience. And most importantly, I saw myself. I saw the woman who survived, who refused to break, who finally took control of her own story. That is the real victory. Not the downfall of the betrayer, but the restoration of your own voice. The reclamation of your own truth. The freedom to breathe, unburdened. Being betrayed doesn't make you weak. Staying silent doesn't make you strong. The real strength comes from patience, preparation, and courage. The world notices quiet strength. It notices integrity. And people respect it more than noise, anger, or chaos. So, if you are betrayed, take heart. If someone tries to define you with lies, don't panic. Don't shout. Don't beg for understanding. Simply let the truth live inside you. Let it grow. Let it prepare. Because eventually, the truth has a way of arriving. And when it does, it speaks louder than anyone's lies ever could. Sophia thought she had me figured out. She thought my silence would protect her. She thought I'd forgive her. She was wrong. I learned the most important lesson. Forgiveness is a gift, not a duty. Your truth is yours, and no one can take it unless you allow it.
I don't tell this to brag.
I tell this so anyone listening understands. You are stronger than the people who doubt you. You are more resilient than the lies that try to define you. You are capable of reclaiming your own life if you are patient, brave, and unwavering. Betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it slips in quietly and sits beside you. Sometimes it wears a smile. Sometimes it calls you a friend. And revenge doesn't always need to be loud either. Sometimes the quietest revenge is simply letting the truth speak. I let the truth speak, and it freed me. Because in the end, there is nothing more powerful than a woman who knows her worth. Nothing more dangerous than patience paired with clarity. Nothing more liberating than integrity that refuses to bend. I learned that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it waits. Sometimes it breathes calmly while the storm rages. And when that whisper becomes action, when preparation meets precision, the world shifts. People who try to define you will face the consequences of their choices. Not because you sought revenge, but because truth, once freed, cannot be stopped. And you will stand tall. You will breathe. You will walk forward without fear. I learned that in the quiet moments after betrayal, in the stillness before confrontation, in the pause that let me measure every step, every word, every proof. And now I carry it with me always. Silence is not weakness. Patience is not passivity. Truth is the most potent power there is. So if you are listening, remember this. Betrayal is painful. Deception is bitter. But your response, your strength, your integrity, that is yours to wield. And when you do, you will be free. Completely, undeniably. And nothing, and no one, will ever take that away from you. I let the truth speak.
And it freed me.
And for the first time in a long time, I smiled. Not with triumph, not with revenge, but with freedom. The freedom to exist without manipulation. The freedom to reclaim my story. The freedom to simply be. And that, more than anything, is the real victory.